Write your novel scene by scene. A scene has a setting, that is, a background, characters, thoughts, dialogues, and actions. Imagine you are the director of a movie, but you will use words as your medium to tell the story. The principles are closely related. The most important drive of a scene is the characters. Tell the scene from the point of view of only one character. Do not share the thoughts of other characters. If you wish to share other characters' thoughts, write another scene and tell it from the point of view of a character whose thoughts you wish to share. Check best-selling novels and study how they handle this. Write the scene in the view of one character, which will most always be the protagonist. Do not let yourself appear in the scene. The author's voice should be non-existent. If your voice shows up, it is as jarring as if the director of a movie speaks into the camera and talks to you during the film. Even the description should be written in the voice of the character whose points of view the scene is being expressed through. If the character is slow, then you should write the scene as if you were that character. If the character is quick-witted and fun, then you should write the scene in the voice of a quick-witted, fun person. This includes the descriptions. First, choose a background. That is where you would film your scene if you were directing a movie. Keep the descriptions short. Use key parts of the setting that will ignite the imagination of the reader. Don't try to force what you see in your mind into his mind. Everyone will see the characters in the scene differently. This is what you want. This is how they will become part of the book. They will feel like they're part of it. They will feel like they're in that world. The world feels like something they have created because they have created it in their imagination. You've only guided them there with key powerful words, powerful verbs and nouns. Suppose the setting is a bar. Even if this bar will show up more than once in the novel, don't spend more than a paragraph describing it. The second time the bar shows up in the novel, only give maybe one or two more details about it. Try to use as many of the 5 senses as possible when telling your story. Triggers that might set the background for the bar could be: like a theater, Clover 4 was dark. A dim light above the pool table splashed green light on a lady in a red dress. Through the smoke the wooden floors reflected red and green lights, and the smell of cigarettes lingered about like a dead body. Colorful sounds made by pinball machines bled together with the old man at the bar stool who told his life story to anyone who would lend an ear. Notice I used 3 of the 5 senses: sight, sound, and smell. A director might do something similar by getting a shot of the lady in red, a man walking on the wooden floors, and a glimpse at the pinball machines as the camera swings around to the old man. Keep the description short and point out key parts that trigger the mood you want. Every person will see the bar differently, and that's a good thing. I could have mentioned the neon signs, the dance floor, the football helmets hanging on the walls, and so forth, but what would be the point? Don't bog a reader down with description. Think about how often you have skipped parts or skipped past parts of long descriptions in novels that you have read. We want action, and more action. Each scene should have action, or narration if you prefer that word. Narration is showing what the characters are doing, in this case what the characters are doing in the bar. Remember not to tell what the characters are doing. Leave the job of telling to news reporters. Rather, show the readers what the characters are doing. Each sentence should have key words that trigger images in our minds. The imagery triggered in the reader's minds is what you, the author or director, choose to show them. In the same way, a director will film 2 people fighting at a bar. Remember when narrating not to tell. Don't write, Samantha likes to be alone. She does not get out much. Rather, show us that Samantha is a loner through her actions and dialogue. It was 3 p.m., and Samantha, still in her PJs, relaxed on the couch watching a love story. The phone rang. Samantha put her bowl of ice cream on the tan couch and answered. "Hello?" Samantha said. "Hey, you want to go out tonight?" Jill asked. "Can't. Got a lot of work to finish up." "You always have work to finish up. You're probably sitting on the couch eating ice cream. Come on, let's go out to a dance club." "I'm just not up for it. And I do have a lot of work to get done." "Fine. But you really need to get out more, Samantha." Samantha hung up, dipped her spoon in the Rocky Road ice cream, and clicked play on the remote. This scene shows that Samantha is a loner and possibly depressed through action, through story rather than reporting. A scene should also have dialogue, and dialogue should push the story forward and or let us get to know the characters. Cut out all the boring stuff people say in life, like, "How was your day, honey?" "Well, my day was fine. The boss at work was kind of a beep beep," and "Hey, this is good coffee. What did you use this time?" Make the dialogue something that you want to listen to, something that you would like to overhear. If the dialogue doesn't interest you, then don't write it. But make sure the dialogue serves a purpose. It can't just be interesting. It's got to push the story forward or let us get to know the characters. In best-selling novels, a minimum of 30% of the novel is dialogue and no more than 60%. Possibly up to 75%. I doubt it, though. Dialoguing is really an art unto itself, and I plan to do a video on that subject. To paint the scene in the mind of the reader, you use a little description and a lot of dialogue and narration. Narration is the actions and thoughts of the characters. But remember to only show the thoughts of the character whose points of view the scene is from. If you break this rule, then be sure to let the reader know whose thoughts we are reading. You can say Samantha thought, "What a jerk," or it crossed her mind, or whichever way, but make it clear we are reading Samantha's thoughts if she is not the character whose point of view the scene was being told through. Also be sure to make it clear the next time that the thoughts that are shared are the thoughts of the protagonist. Be sure you never share the thoughts of two characters in the same paragraph. The problem with sharing more than one character's thoughts in the same scene is in the next scene. If you don't clarify whose thoughts are being expressed, the reader will get confused, or might get confused. What if they are the thoughts of someone other than the character whose points of view the scene is being told through? Might be what they're thinking. Alternating between actions, thoughts, and dialogues makes for a fast-paced book. This is what you want. A book does not have to be written by Tom Clancy to be fast-paced, nor does it have to be full of hard-boiled action like a Jackie Chan movie. Alternating between action, thought, and dialogue will make the pacing fast, even if the conversation was dull, although you don't want dull conversation. Actions told with few and powerful keywords that trigger pictures in the imagination, written thoughts that conjure up emotions, and interesting conversations are the making of a good novel. Although description is needed, this is not what makes a novel good. You can spice up your description by using metaphor, simile, allegory, and such things. Even in a sci-fi or fantasy novel where background plays a major role, you want to paint the picture of the background mostly with dialogue and narration, and with little description. Another way to keep the pacing fresh and fast is to vary paragraph lengths and don't write long paragraphs. Break up longer paragraphs with dialogue. Analyze some of your favorite novels that are bestsellers. Take 3 pages and see how many words are used for description, dialogue, thought, backstory, and action. Then study the structure. How many words of description are used before being broken up with dialogue, and so forth. And there's a sort of pattern to this. Dialogue, action, thought, action, description. Dialogue, action, thought, backstory, action, dialogue. Or, and with the paragraphs, 1-sentence paragraph, 4-sentence paragraph, 5-sentence paragraph, 1-sentence paragraph, 5-word paragraph, 3-sentence paragraph, and so on. By changing up like this and varying, you add pace. There's other ways to add pace as well, and we'll get into that.